Canon is about to release a camera that could be a game changer for sports photographers. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the possible Canon R6 Mark III, what new features it might bring, and whether or not it's worth waiting for. Initially, this camera was supposed to be launched in the first quarter of 2025. Now, obviously that didn't happen, but it is expected now to be launched in May, which is just around the corner. Expectations for this model are really high, and the reason for that is because the R6 Mark II is Canon's current full-frame best-selling cameras. So obviously from Canon's standpoint, they want to continue that trend. It is a business after all, and for photographers as well, because the R6 Mark II is an incredibly value for the money that you pay. And with the improvements that might come in the R6 Mark III, both videographers and photographers are, jumping on the hype train, and for a reason. Just a quick reminder that we're talking about rumors, so nothing is set in stone and everything is subject to change. That being said, here are the specs that we expect to see in the R6 Mark III. Let's start with the sensor. We expect it to be a 24 megapixel stacked sensor, so similar to the one that we can find on the R3. So this is not the same as the one on the R6 Mark II, which is not a stacked sensor. Why is this important? Because it helps with the readout speeds and it helps with rolling shutter, which is somewhat evident on the R6 Mark II. I have made a video specific about rolling shutter on the R6 Mark II. Click on the link if you want to check it out. But if this is the case, if we're going to have a stacked sensor on the R6 Mark III, this is absolutely a game changer, especially for sports photographers, which is the case in this channel. We talk about sports photography, so this makes a huge difference. For the processor, we expect it to have the new Digic accelerator, so potentially faster and smarter. In continuous shooting, up to 30 frames per second in RAW. For stabilization, we expect it to have 8.5 stops. That's just a tiny increase over the current 8 stops of stabilization on the R6 Mark II. Other things we don't know yet is it gonna allow for a battery grip? Right here, this is the R6 Mark II. It does allow for one. The original R6 did as well. I would be very surprised if the R6 Mark III does not allow for a battery grip. It would make no sense at all. But in the past, we have had some surprises, notably the R7, which does not have a battery grip. There are third-party solutions, but there's nothing official, nothing from Canon, which was an odd decision, something that I pointed at the time in a video, and the internet came out at full swing because people don't like other people with opinions. To me, a battery grip is absolutely crucial, not just for the battery life, but for the ergonomics, for the weight balance, to take portrait shots without having to do weird positions. It's just, it just feels better. And when the R7 didn't have a battery grip, I thought that was a miss, a huge miss by Canon. But I think it was a decision made with money in mind. I believe if the R7 had a grip, maybe it would steal, so to speak, sales from the models above it. Anyway, that's for another day. We're talking about the R6 Mark III, and yes, I do expect it to have a grip as well. Another thing we don't know is how much is it gonna cost. So when the R6 Mark II came out, it had a price, and over time, as is the case with every camera, the price starts to go down and down as the new model is about to be launched. So I would assume the pricing will be roughly the same as the R6 Mark II had at launch. Now, with everything that is going on with tariffs and whatnot and supply and demand, is this going to affect the pricing and availability of the R6 Mark III? I don't know. Is it going to affect the market only in the US or absolutely everywhere in the world? Time will tell. But for the moment being, I would be surprised if it's much more expensive than the R6 Mark II was at launch. So I would expect the pricing to be roughly the same. Another thing that we don't know yet is what type of cards is it gonna accept. Is it gonna stick with the 2 SD card slots? I would assume or hope that at least one of the card slots would be a CF Express Type B. Because of the stack sensor, the faster readout speeds, you need something that can keep up with that speed, so hopefully they'll make that slight upgrade at least in one of the slots. And to wrap things up, I'm going to put a table of the rumor specs. You can compare them with the R6 Mark II. And now I ask you the question: is this a camera that is worth waiting for if you already have the R6 Mark II? So is it worth waiting for it to make the upgrade? And if you don't have that camera and you're thinking of buying one and you're into sports photography, is it worth waiting for it to buy it? In that case, absolutely yes. If it's priced roughly at the price that the R6 Mark II was when it was launched, I think it'll be a phenomenal all-around camera for sports photography. And if they improve that rolling shutter, then it'll just be magical. Absolutely magical camera. It is not an R3, it is not an R1, but it is a phenomenal camera. That's it for today, guys. If you enjoy videos like this where I talk about rumors, or if you enjoyed this video at all, just hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Until next time, take it easy, guys. Stay safe.